Nights.
Thanks, Eric. Now, wildfire removes vegetation that normally reduces the effect of runoff from rain and rapid snowmelt, leaving the landscape susceptible to flash flood. Last night, Lewis and Clark County Disaster and Emergency Services, along with the county floodplain program, held a community conversation about flooding and mudslides after fires. MTN's Ali Kaiser has the story.
Residents of the Helena Valley in York are very familiar with the impacts of the Horse Gulch fire. But its effects might not be over yet, as Lewis and Clark County is trying to educate the public on the floods that come after fires.
Residents in and around the Canyon Ferry area should be constantly monitoring any type of change to their terrain for a number of years past the extinguishing date for the Horse Gulch fire.
Warby McNamee is the floodplain administrator for Lewis and Clark County. He says on average, the county sees the most incidents of flooding after fires between May and June.
The soil isn't receptive to retaining moisture, and so runoff and debris and things like that will happen with rain on snow and spring melt.
The county requested temporary stream gauges in November for the Horse, Cave, and Magpie Gulches from the National Weather Service's Great Falls office to see the impacts of drainage in those areas. But with pausing in federal funding, the data collection was put on hold. The National Weather Service in Great Falls is keeping an eye on the weather conditions in the burn scar area.
We hope for a gentle melting of that snow water equivalent that we do have in the higher elevations. Right now we're at 84% of median.
MTN previously reported on flood insurance for property owners in a burn scar area, but there are other ways to protect yourself and loved ones.
Knowing your emergency evacuation routes when it comes to flooding. Having your important documents in properly sealed fireproof and waterproof containers. Call local authorities if they do see flooding.
The second Floods After Fire event will be held here from noon to 2 p.m. on Friday. In Helena, I'm Ali Kaiser, MTN News.
Per the Montana Cancer Coalition, there are about 500 new colorectal cancer cases each year, and it's the second most common cause of cancer deaths in the state. Most cancers start with a polyp, and so taking a preventative measure like a colonoscopy before you start to notice symptoms is what doctors say is the best way to catch this disease early. A colonoscopy is a significant preventative procedure, so it's important to consult with your provider about when you should get a scan and how to prepare. For example, a week prior to the procedure, you need to stop eating seeds and limit yourself to clear substances like Jell-O and chicken broth to clear out the colon. The procedure itself doesn't typically last more than a half hour and involves a flexible tube and camera for doctors to search for polyps.
I just had my first colonoscopy a month ago and I was so excited to do it, and it's really a gift to yourself and your family just to know if you have anything in there that you should get taken out. So just keep spreading the word, tell people, and just be brave. It's not scary.
It is suggested that you get a colonoscopy every 10 years, beginning at the age of 45, unless there is a family history of colorectal cancer. If there is a family history, consult with a doctor about when you should get tested.